So let's take a quick minute and talk about something that's important. It's the big plague of humanity, and it is cancer. Not all animals suffer from it the way that we tend to. So it's very important, especially when you're studying human health, to understand how cancer operates and really what goes wrong and why there are so many different types of cancer and how it's really super hard to find a cure for cancer when there can be so many different kinds. Okay, so the first thing to understand is the idea of quorum sensing. Quorum sensing is how a colony of cells, like in your tissue for example, talk to each other. They talk to each other about how many cells are there and if they need to make repairs, or wow, did that virus really came through and destroyed a bunch of us? Okay, we need to make like 10,000 new cells and we'll be okay. So that's how they regulate cell division. So we always get, or we hopefully get, the right amount of new cells and we don't overdivide. Overdivision of cells results in cancer, right? So it's the unchecked cell division and growth of a tissue. Luckily, we have built-in checkpoints when we look at the cell cycle, which we'll talk about now. Whenever we have a breakdown, usually from mutations in these checkpoint functions, that's when we get uncontrolled cell growth, right? And what is uncontrolled cell growth? That is what we call cancer. That is what results in cancer. These are the checkpoints. So there's the divisions, right? So that help us stabilize. So this is one way we kind of control our cell division. But what's even more important and what we study specifically are these checkpoints that happen within the different stages. Okay, we have three that we're looking at right now. The first one is the G1 checkpoint. The second is G2, and the third is an M checkpoint. Basically, the cell takes a look around and it controls and it says, hey, am I really supposed to be dividing right now? Am I dividing correctly? Do I have too many mutations? Are my structures okay? And also, it receives input from the quorum or the tissue that it's in to figure out, well, did we really need another cell division right now? Sometimes the cell can just stop and go back to being a cell, but other times it will actually undergo what we call apoptosis, which is a programmed cell death, right? So they actually commit cell suicide, which is a very important process, even though it sounds a little savage. So what is a tumor? How does this operate? So cancer happens all the time. I mean, we've probably had it hundreds, if not thousands of times in our life, but our immune system usually checks it and says, hey, we're going to shut this down. This is a rogue colony of cells. So they're able to detect smaller tumors or smaller masses of abnormally growing cells, and the immune system usually is the one that goes in and can kind of shut that down when we have cell cycle checkpoint issues. So a tumor specifically is a mass of abnormally growing cells within otherwise normal tissue. But not all tumors are the same. Some tumors don't really cause a problem. They aren't great, they are abnormal, but they actually just kind of stay there. And in some cases they may grow and bug the organs around it and change their ability to function normally. But for the most part, they are not considered cancerous. Because of one feature, and that is the feature of malignancy and metastasis or metastasis. So metastasis, I say metastasis because it breaks it into the Greek words. Conventionally, when you're using it in a clinical setting, it would be referred to as metastasis, right? It's just a dialectical issue. So what that means is we're spreading to other locations. We are traveling in the body. And although we're traveling in the body, the real issue is when we lodge into new places. Places like the heart or the brain or the liver or the kidney, and continue to grow. Those continued growths, those continued tumors, right, will eventually grow into sizes or put off byproducts which will cause cell death in that new area. And once that happens, this is what we call the, true malignant phenotype. It's out for trouble, it's causing trouble. When that happens, we're said to have true cancer, okay? So that's what it is. That's how it operates within the cell cycle. I hope that was informative. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. Otherwise, have a great night.